Jesus, Nicki Minaj, I'm just disturbed. Not just in fact in you, but the fact that no one else is talking about this video. But I can see why. Because 99% of you won't be able to stomach this. But if you can, I'll show you. Don't say I didn't warn you. Now, if you're anything like me, you start what you finish. So does Nicki. That's why we've seen on numerous different occasions. Doesn't matter where, doesn't matter when. If she's disrespected, she rebuttals. Another thing about Nicki is the fact that her personality, everybody loves it. One of those rare few occasions we're able to see somebody be their authentic self. But we also see the dark side of it. Now, her personality is not normal, but what you're about to see is a glitch, which makes you wonder, why does it actually look like a malfunction, as if she's not real?
Fans, like, I got a, like,
what, Hot 100?
top 100.
I don't know, what do you mean? You
like, get the whole album in the top 100.
It's been there. The fuck? Motherfucker, who you... Fuck. Queen around, greatest war.
You alright?
Huh?
You okay?
Bro, she's playing a part. Some people are just like incredibly extra. That's what they call it. Some people are very expressive. Some people are just over the top, I would say, in their reactions to things. Have to really like overdo what they're feeling, the emotion they're feeling and stuff. I mean, I know people personally in my daily life that are just very like, their faces are very expressive like that, and I don't even know what to call it, but it's just being extra, just playing for the camera or playing for people around her or whatever. Yeah, I don't think she's glitching out, man. I've seen some videos of some people where I'm like, whoa, maybe they might be fucking glitching out a little bit, but that right there is just Nicki being fucking weird Nicki.
In 1934, archaeologists discovered a sealed tomb in Greece. Inside it, they found something impossible. One iPhone 14 smartphone still on battery. It showed one photo dated 2089 of one man named Alex Rivera in front of the same farm, holding one strange camera. Rivera was identified as an engineer who disappeared in 2089 during experiments with the Phoenix Project. The aim is to rewrite historical events, but it was canceled. When Rivera disappeared on her cell phone, there was a chilling message. I tried to change the past, but I created a fork. Now there are two futures. Years later, in 1971, another discovery emerged. Archaeologists found Alex Rivera, decades older, mummified in the same tomb next to the body. A second photo dating from 2156. Specialists were shocked. How could a man die before he was born? The final clue was in the Phoenix lab notes at 2089, and Vera wrote, each trip creates a new reality. I am fragmented into multiple timelines simultaneously. But here's the twist: in 2023, researchers decided to open the tomb again. They found the photo camera still working. When they activated it, a holographic message from Rivera appeared. If you're seeing this, you just created the third timeline. Welcome to the paradox.
All right, so here's the thing. Where do these stories come from? Where do people get this information? Like, this is probably bullshit, right? But like, is it just like one person leaking the story to a friend and just by chance it got to this person that decided to make an AI video about it? That's how we have to look at all this stuff. All these fucking AI conspiracies and just other stuff, like the stuff that there's like reports on. I'm sure like some has been leaked, some has been declassified, and you know, people can go in and look through all these documents and whatnot. But like shit like this, like, how do you know, bro? Like, who told you? How'd you get that information?
There are rumors that dinosaurs are still alive and that the government are keeping them enclosed on islands like this one. And people say this goes all the way back to the 90s when they first were able to clone sheep. We didn't hear about it for a long time, and that the government took that technology and were actually able to recreate dinosaurs similar to how they did on Jurassic Park. Now, fishermen that actually travel these waters are posting about these areas that they're not supposed to go in. They even go as far as to mention that some of their compasses and navigation equipment go haywire when they get near these areas. Now, keep in mind, there's no facts to back this, and it's just a rumor based upon people posting videos like this. Now, is it possible that instead of dinosaurs being on this island, or islands like this one, that this could be the home to failed government experiments? Just like the MK Ultra experiment that inspired Stranger Things. Apparently they created real creatures and got rid of them, but could there be more experiments that have gone wrong and they house these creatures on this island?
Yeah, and you know what else could be true without any form of proof? My shit could turn purple and taste like rainbow sherbet. Man, I'm grumpy today. I'm tired, dude. I'm not fucking giving anyone a pass in today's video. I'm just like, nope. Fuck you. Fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you. Oh man, I am tired though. But yeah, dude, I don't know. Believe me, I am all for the idea of them cloning. I believe they can clone shit. They could probably clone humans. They probably are cloning humans. I don't think they're really replacing celebrities with them. I think celebrities are just having mental breakdowns due to like pressure from society and from fans and from the people writing their checks and from the music industry and people that have information on them to blackmail them, and just being pressured to like fit in this box, and they're unable to be themselves, so they just snap. So I don't think like cloning is happening in that area, but it could. Who am I to, I don't know. That's just what I feel. So that being said, I would love for Jurassic Park to be real. I would love for them to be recreating dinosaurs, but I don't really think there's a reason to keep that secret, like, at all. They already said they're trying to clone the woolly mammoth and sheep, and they're like already cloning like chickens that are just like brain dead to like harvest meat and stuff. Like, there's already like those kind of things going on. So I don't think it would be too crazy, and I don't think there'd be too much public pushback for people like a billionaire to just like fund research to create an island full of like cloned dinosaurs. And I do think it would definitely be turned into an attraction like Jurassic Park, despite the movie, because of how popular that movie is. People like me, stupid fucking people like me, would still go, despite it being a terrible idea probably. So I don't think that's the case, but it's fun to think about.
Have you heard the theory that President Lincoln was actually assassinated by the Rothschilds? Yeah, sounds crazy, but listen, back then the Rothschilds were powerful bankers in Europe. They were backing the Confederates by selling their money overseas. Meanwhile, Lincoln wanted America to break free from those foreign banks. Now here's the strange part. Around the same time, Russia had also pushed out the Rothschild bankers. And when the Civil War heated up, Russian ships actually came to America. They docked in New York and San Francisco. Officially, it was friendly support. But many believe Russia was warning Europe. Don't you dare step in for the South. So, put it together. Europe's bankers had money tied to the Confederates. Lincoln was cutting their system out. Russia was backing him. And suddenly, Lincoln gets assassinated. Was it really just one angry actor, or was it part of a bigger plan to protect the banking empire? Schools won't teach you that version, but if you follow the money, the Civil War starts looking less like North versus South, and more like nations fighting the bankers who controlled the world.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, the details escape me, so if you could just post in the comments like the details on this that I can't think of right now, but the Titanic was supposedly to basically obliterate the pushback against banking systems as well, right? It's like the Titanic was not actually the Titanic, and there were like two identical ships, and one of them had already had an issue, I guess, in the hull, so there wasn't an iceberg, and it was something else, or whatever the case may be. I think that money always plays a part in 95, maybe 98% of all worldwide tragedies and conflicts. Information, technology, power, money, just anything to give someone a head start on their competitors. And in a lot of cases, it's not just like business against business, it's country against country, because governments are essentially big businesses now, rather than just like servants of the people. They're just huge businesses, right? So that would not surprise me at all. Then again, there was a lot of tension, racial tension and things like that really pushed the Civil War. But at the same sense, you can look at today's political climate in the U.S. and how just like the left and right are pitted against each other because of social issues. And it really looks like it really seems like it's orchestrated intentionally to pin us against each other so we don't pay attention to the bigger picture. Other people taking advantage of us, manipulating us emotionally, mentally, financially, to keep us at war with each other, so we're not paying attention to the things they're doing, the changes they're making for either gaining more power or making more money or whatever the case may be. So I think that's kind of probably always been the issue since even back in, ancient Rome and before. So again, this would not surprise me if this was true. I have no idea, but probably.
The simulation is simulating. Y'all better pay attention. Something is happening again. And if you've been paying attention, you could feel it. New York just got a new man. I don't think people understand what just got activated. In the last 3 days, 3 major things happened. Now, I'm going to say some things without saying them, so I'm going to need you to pay attention. The former vice president during 9/11, Dick Cheney, just passed away November 3rd. The same week, New York elects its first Muslim mayor, Mandani. And right in the middle of that, a UPS cargo plane goes down in Kentucky. flight number 2976. The number of people who died in the 9/11 attack, 2976. The same exact number. That UPS cargo plane that crashed at Muhammad Ali International Airport, one of the hijackers from 9/11, Khalid Muhammad. This ain't coincidence. This is choreography. The mayor of Louisville said 9 people died and 11 injured. 9/11. That plane that crashed, it used to be a passenger jet that retired 9 years and 11 days before that accident. Every number, every headline, looping like a ritual on replay. Now let me ask you a question. You really think that's random? Mondani, born October 18th, 1991. From his birth to Trump's inauguration this year, 33 years. You know how long the towers stood before they fell? 33 years. And that UPS jet, it reached only 175 feet before it went down. Same as Flight 175. The second plane on 9/11. They said that same plane had a 33% load factor. Every single number matching. It's not a pattern. That's a program. The simulation can't hide itself. It repeats itself until you wake up. You could call that math, or you could call that faith, or the Matrix. But when the same codes show up at the same time, after the same people, in the same cities, that's not news. That's a reset. Look at the sky calendar. We just passed an eclipse that crossed every state tied to 9/11 responders. Now I want you to go down them rabbit holes and tell me what you think.
I'm not going to lie. I'm not doing any research on what this guy talked about. I don't know what's going on in New York. I'm down here in Florida. I generally don't concern myself with things outside of the realm of things that immediately impact me. Though, obviously, politics do. You know, whatever happens somewhere else has a good chance of happening closer to home. So we should be definitely more informed and whatnot on everything. But I don't know anything about the dude in New York. You guys can argue amongst yourselves in the comments and inform me if he's cool or if he's not cool. I'll let you guys just say your piece as an open dialogue platform, so go for it. And I was actually going to mention the simulation before he got to that point, to where I think that, yes, coincidences happen with things, but there's so many things, like between Lincoln and JFK's birthdays and the assassins' names and the years apart and just a bunch of information like that, like these kind of coincidences do happen a lot, and it makes it hard to think that it's random, especially with so many of them, right? And we could say we're cherry picking and really just kind of only pointing out the situations that it happens in that way, because there's so many that don't, at least to my knowledge. But it makes you think, like, yeah, maybe we are in a simulation, dude. Maybe everything is just predetermined and pre-coded.
So the CIA once tried talking to dolphins, and shortly after, they made it illegal for anyone else to ever talk to them ever again. You see, dolphins are actually some of the smartest animals on Earth. According to ChatGPT, they're second only to the great apes, which are like 99.9% human. The CIA picked up on this, and during the Cold War in the 1960s, they wanted to gain any tactical advantage over the Soviets that they could. So along with the US Navy, they started testing on the possibility of a dolphin-human connection under the Marine Mammal Program, training mainly dolphins as spies for military use and espionage, in order to help the Navy detect underwater mines and subs, recover equipment lost in the ocean, and also find out what else might be down there. Here are one of the few man-dolphin communication reports prepared for the US Navy, which you can read through online. During the same time, other communication research led by Dr. John C. Lilly, funded by NASA and the US Navy, ran their own experiments deliberately aimed at talking to dolphins, where a dolphin named Peter actually ended up falling in love with a human woman, Margaret, who became so obsessed with her he didn't even want to mate with female dolphins anymore. And after being separated from Margaret, he was so devastated that he voluntarily held his breath until he himself. Which, yes, dolphins are mammals. They don't have gills and can't breathe underwater. They're just always holding their breath and breathe through their blowholes when they surface. Pretty wild, I know. This experiment got kinda dark before it was shut down, and it's all in the official reports. Well, these experiments allegedly developed a system that allows us to interpret a dolphin's clicks and whistles into structured information, so we can understand what they're trying to tell us, and in turn translate human speech into dolphin whistle words via electronic devices. While the dolphins may have told them something they didn't didn't expect and also didn't want anyone else to know. On official record, the experiments were inconclusive and no real progress with dolphin communication was achieved. But just a few years later in 1972, they enacted the MMPA, the Marine Mammal Protection Act, which specifically prohibits human interaction with marine mammals in particular due to their enhanced cognitive ability, which is oddly specific because mammals make up only about 0.1% of all marine life. On paper, the act prohibits harassment and disturbing marine mammals, which is fair and also a great cover story, as it describes level B harassment as the potential to disturb a marine mammal by causing disruption of behavioral patterns, which is an extremely broad definition, and something as simple as trying to communicate with dolphins would technically fall under this. But what could have the dolphins told the CIA and the US Navy that caused them to ban us from ever talking to them? Oh yeah, aliens, they're in our oceans, aren't they? Countless recent testimonies from US Navy and other government whistleblowers revealed that UFOs commonly come in and out of our oceans. Military reports of unknown objects moving underwater at hundreds of miles an hour, faster than any aquatic animal or underwater craft we've ever made. Speculation of alien bases and UFO factories at the bottom of our ocean has been brought up many times in past UAP hearings. Strange anomalies on the ocean floor that appear to be moving around, or just massive underwater structures that were once there and are no longer visible from satellite view. Not gonna lie, if I was an alien, the ocean would probably be the best place to set up camp, because now more recently, US Representative Tim Burchett revealed that there are entities that have been on Earth for thousands of years that are emerging from the oceans in 5 to 6 sites around the world. His words. If anyone would be in close communication with these entities, it would be marine life. More specifically, the ones smart enough to communicate, like dolphins. And now it's illegal for us to talk to them, because if we did, maybe they'd expose something they didn't want us to know. Dolphin researcher John C. Lilly even stated that he believed dolphin communication could be a gateway to knowledge far beyond human comprehension. Maybe not just aliens and UFO bases, but perhaps Atlantis and other advanced civilizations of our past that have sunk to the bottom of our oceans. Hey, the jig is up, dolphins. Tell us what you know.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that chick gave the dolphin LSD and jerked him off, and that's why he he like fell in love with her. I'm pretty sure that's what happened, based on some things that I saw in other videos. I feel really bad for the editor of this video because I keep getting up to blow my nose and sneeze every like 2 minutes. Oh wait, I'm the editor. Fuck. But anyway, yeah, I think I don't know. I don't know if they were able to actually communicate with dolphins, but I think pretty cool. There's this dolphin at the park by the beach here by me. Is always just right up there, tries to play with the dogs and hangs out with the people. I guess he doesn't have a pod, so he's like by himself, so he just like lives there and hangs out with humans and stuff. And I can see that being like a reason why they don't want people to interact with dolphins, because like that dolphin here might get used to, you know, just being around us and becoming dependent on us and not out being a dolphin with other dolphins. But I definitely like the idea of dolphins talking to Atlanteans and aliens way more.
Trump's ballroom.
Dude, I've heard some conspiracies about this.
Yeah, and the kicker, Trump is not using taxpayer money.
Oh.
He has some donors.
Ooh.
You ready for these donors?
I guess.
Google, Apple, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, Lockheed Martin, Palantir,
Typical.
T-Mobile.
One of these
Sponsored
things
by
is not
T-Mobile.
like the other. Yeah.
Here's where it gets weird. Now it's going to be over $300 million for this 90,000 square foot ballroom. $3,330 a square foot. Way outside the standard of what you pay per square foot for a building.
So what are they spending so much money on?
A theory is that they're building an underground database center.
Yeah, there you go.
A couple years ago, Israel built a underground data center. They paid $319 million for this.
That's got to be it.
So this ballroom is costing about the same as what this data center cost in Jerusalem.
But not nearly as big.
Well, that's just the surface.
Yeah.
Because they're just building a ballroom.
Yeah.
But what's going to be underneath?
And why are all these people interested in
And
investing in it?
They would all invest because they don't want to be excluded.
Oh my gosh, bro.
In 2008, when everyone was telling me to get rid of my MySpace and to get a Facebook, I was right. I should have stuck with MySpace.
Who made MySpace?
Tom. The legend.
You don't know Tom?
MySpace Tom?
The original OG, the all-time MVP, Tom from MySpace. Man, he didn't want anything from you. He just wanted you to have fun, be able to rate your friends on who you were the most upset with and happy with that day in your top 8. Put whatever songs you want on your profile, make it look however you want. Man, MySpace was awesome. You actually just hang out and talk to your friends and make new friends and just listen to music and find new bands without being like shoved a bunch of ads in your face. I can't even think right now. Jesus.
There's a town in America stuck in the 1950s.
Listen, they call these places controlled alternative living environments, okay? Project started back in the 50s. Said they wanted cultural preservation, but I mean, there's no excuse to convince a town full of people that the rest of the world is in shambles, right? And so look, they'd went into these towns, manipulated their local media, right? Came in with rehearsed news bits about apocalyptic phenomena taking place out in the world, set a perimeter around the borders so nobody could leave, right? I mean, the people were so afraid. I mean, picture literal forced containment, okay? Fast forward through the 60s, 70s, 80s, up until present day, nothing in these places has changed, right? These people are still living in the same sort of snapshot image of this town from 1956, literally at this moment. Completely unaware of the rest of the outside world's advancement, literally just unknowingly controlled by a group of overseeing intelligence agents.
Bro, come get me and drop me off in the 1980s town. They're like the late 80s, even early 90s. Just do that. Now I can still watch all my favorite. I'm dying right now. 80s and 90s films, like Nickelodeon, early 90s Nickelodeon would be awesome. Yeah, I think early 90s would be sick. Just like relive my childhood throughout my adult life. That'd be pretty tight. Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers. Psh, let's go, baby. Wouldn't it be wild if like this is what they were doing in Antarctica though? Like that's why we couldn't go there, because the whole world was just like because the whole world is basically, for whatever reason, experimenting on how people lived during those decades, even though it just happened recently. I don't know why they would need to do that, but you know, why not? Maybe they are because they can.
Across the desert plains of Peru, something incredible lies etched into the earth. Hundreds of giant designs, a hummingbird, a spider, perfect geometric shapes, carved directly into the sand over 2,000 years ago. Some stretch for miles, yet you can only see them properly from the sky. But here's the question. The Nazca people couldn't fly, so why make art only gods could see? Were they messages to the heavens, an ancient calendar, or something far stranger, a signal meant for whatever was watching from above?
Yeah, I think it's probably just them trying to talk to the gods. I'm definitely not opposed to them communicating with aliens that they talk to that like maybe left, you know, like aliens came here and did stuff and taught them things, and then they left and they tried to stay in contact with them after they left. But I mean, either way, it's kind of the same thing, right? Like them talking to what they consider gods.
Bird app, and what it's showing is a giant wall of ice under Antarctica. And this wall of ice seems to be going to the very bottom of the ocean, but also running underneath the sand. I do wonder why this video is not more public than it should be. You know, you figure they find these giant walls that all of science would know. And by the way, look at the color of this so-called wall of ice. It looks very similar to something that's above our head. And in coming across that video, it reminded me a ton of Admiral Byrd's expedition to Antarctica and the footage we have of that, which most people aren't even aware of. The only way you even come across is if you look really heavily into it. But there was like crazy, crazy tall ice that they had to literally do a high jump to get onto. I'm gonna fast forward right now because they literally had hundreds of miles of just a giant, giant wall of ice. I wonder why we're not talking about this.
Dude, my nose is so red from sneezing and blowing my nose all day. Oh my god. My face was like sore. But was there video evidence of Admiral Byrd's excursion? I don't know about that. I'm gonna guess we had, you know, camcorders, but they were massive back then. You know, they were like huge. You have to take like a whole film crew with you on an excursion of his to go find Nazis. Like, I don't think that would be top priority to record what they're doing, right? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Let me know below. I'm probably wrong. I'm probably wrong a lot. But I'm cool with that, because I'm just giving my opinion and insight based on things that I've seen. And you're here to correct me if you want.
Do you ever notice when you enter a new area that the simulation loads more people in? You look out your window and your street is quiet and calm. But once you go outside, then everyone starts loading in and you have a few cars going by. Maybe someone's walking a dog. Maybe there's some kids on bikes. Or when you go to a restaurant and it's empty, but then after a few minutes, a bunch of people start showing up. Is that just the simulation loading in NPCs for you so it doesn't feel empty? Is there a delay in them all showing up because they had to load in from far enough away that you couldn't see them spawn in?
Do you ever notice how you don't notice things until you're close enough to them to notice them? I didn't see anybody in Starbucks until I went inside Starbucks. It was crazy. No, but I love this theory, man. I love simulation theory. I'm pretty on board with it too. I think, yeah, because I mean, you've had the experience too where you like buy a new car and then you see that car everywhere. It's like playing Grand Theft Auto. You steal a car and then that car that you took in the game starts popping up everywhere. It's the same thing. It's weird. Also, the split experiment, right? When you're actually witnessing it, it acts differently. Yeah, it's all really weird to me, but bro, I'm just saying, like, why couldn't the simulation give me generational wealth? That'd be super cool. Just like make my great grandfather an oil baron or something.
Humans are a bunch of mutant slaves on a prison planet. According to the oldest document in existence, the Sumerian tablets, 7 beings called the Anunnaki came from heaven to earth and genetically modified humans in an outdoor laboratory called Eden, where they created the first man named Adamu to mine gold as a slave race so they didn't have to work. And if that sounds crazy to you, that's exactly how the 1% operates the global economy to this day.
Oh yeah, it's actually he makes a strong case here. He makes a really good point there. That is exactly how things still are. The working class being controlled by the reptilians. Or maybe it's not reptilians. Maybe they're all ascendants of the Anunnaki. Or maybe there are ascendants or actual Anunnaki still here pulling all the strings. Maybe they never left. Maybe some of them stayed. And now we're all working 40, 50, 60, 80 hours a week to try to afford a mortgage for a house we can't afford, driving cars we can't afford to impress people we don't like and that don't care, trying to maintain an image that we're told we need to maintain to appeal to people that we don't know and we'll never meet. But I don't have to tell you that.
And this video is of a couple gentlemen who I think flew a balloon up to the atmosphere or up into space. And look what they film. Very interesting. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.
It's water! Oh my god, it's water! Water! Oh my god!
Just 1 second.
Oh my god!
It's like I thought. That's somebody skydiving into the water and they're screaming because they're about to land in the water with skydiving equipment and a harness and a giant parachute with nothing to help them float. So they're worried. And also I think if they were high enough to reach the so-called firmament, they would need an oxygen tank. I don't think just a parachute or whatever they're on is going to get them that high to actually reach this so-called firmament that everybody talks about. But yep, it's just an upside down video.
the first time we're going to send humans to the moon and we're going to have humans in low Earth orbit. That is awesome. Like, we should, as humanity, we should take a brief moment to go, that's awesome.
That's so stupid. Like, I don't understand why they would put, like, a lot of that shit's clearly fake, right? Like, I believe in space. I don't believe in flat Earth. I believe in planets and whatnot, but it's so stupid that they go through all this effort to fake this big lie. And I know people are going to be like, well, it's because they're trying to disprove the Bible, whatever. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like all the world governments lean pretty heavily into religion, so I don't know why they would want the Bible to be, like, disproven, I guess. But again, dude, like, put a little more effort in. Like, the chick with the hairspray, like, the very clearly hairsprayed, like, hair that's not flowing, like, at all, like it's in zero gravity or underwater or whatever. It's just, like, sticking straight up. It's so dumb. And you'd think they'd put more effort into the actual video effects, too. And you could say, you know, like, maybe the transmitting of the video makes the frames act up. So, like, when the guy, it looked like the guy's hand went through the orange, that could be just a technical issue, like a slow frame rate or something. But I don't know. Like I said, a lot of stuff is clearly fake, but I don't know, man. It's just so crazy to me. I just want to know what's going on. Well, that's it for today's video, guys. Again, thanks for bearing with me. I feel like hell right now. I'm so sniffly and my nose is stuffed up and I can't stop sneezing. And I'm a little lightheaded, actually. So wish me luck editing this video. Although you don't have to, because by the time you see this, it will be done.
A video yesterday where I saw the cuneiform or Sumerian text in the clouds. I ran it through a couple of AI platforms and it turned out some very, very interesting translations. So I asked to redefine the aspect of it so that it would, if it were standing up, what the symbols would be. This is what it came up with. So I took that and then I ran it through another AI to make sure it was unbiased. And it said there were 3 potential translations of this specific text. It could have been a runic, cuneiform, ancient Sumerian, or it could just be translated into modern Christian or Latin. And what it came up with was kind of shocking and kind of cool at the same time. It also changed it into what it would look like in cuneiform and in runic. So here's what it looks like in cuneiform and runic. Now, what does it mean? Well, in runic, this could be intended to mean eternal or infinity. Cuneiform would mean everlasting, eternal, or without end. The third one is symbols of a Latin translation of INRI. Iesus Nazarenus Rex Lunaorum, which means Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews. If you remember from biblical times, INRI, the inscription that was said to have been placed above Jesus during the crucifixion, that Pontius Pilate ordered to be written. And that's what we found in the sky yesterday.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Here's the thing, man. Or it could just be pareidolia, and then you were giving something to a biased, compromised AI account and forcing it to make sense of something that was nothing. That's the thing about, like, ChatGPT and stuff. Like, it's very biased. It's very biased toward the information you've been feeding it and looking up and asking it about. So it's different for everyone. Like, if I were to dive into mine with a question, it would probably give me something similar, because all the conspiracy stuff that I plug in and ask about and feed it and stuff. But then you go to somebody who uses it just entirely for, like, academia, just like mainstream traditional history or ancient history, just a different shit entirely, and it's going to give them a completely different answer. So maybe, you know, Project Bluebeam. I don't know why people are afraid to say that on, like, TikTok and stuff. They're all just like, PBB, like Project Bluebeam's going to get their account flagged or something. Like, I mean, maybe, but probably not. But yeah, nonetheless, maybe, I guess. But I think it's just, if you look for something long enough, you're going to find an answer. And that answer is pretty much going to kind of be swayed to be biased toward the outcome that you want when you're looking at, like, images from, you know, pareidolia, from faces on, in a rock face or whatever.
When you think you've seen it all, you ain't seen nothing yet. There is a chapel in Florence, and it may just show what was hiding in certain knights' armor. Did you know that certain knights was never seen without their armor? They would even sleep in it, and you would never hear them speak. And when it came to the females, they would have no direct contact. They would get the female to put teardrops into a handkerchief and have it given to them indirectly. What kind of freaky thing is this? They would also get their fellow soldiers to pour water into their armor all throughout the day. What kind of reptilian thing is this? Now let's be realistic. What kind of human could wear this night and day? It's not even practical. How could he even see, let alone fight? To wear this helmet.
This dude is so extra. He's so theatrical. It's great for content and stuff. Good for him. He's doing a great job, but it's just kind of funny to me. The way he's like, everything, no matter what it is very like serious and like, this is true. But like, dude, I've never heard of that before in my life. And I'm not going to say that I know everything or I've seen everything or that I've heard of everything or that I have all the answers. I probably don't have any of the fucking answers, to be fair. I just share stuff that I hear and read and whatnot. So call it research, call it shit posts, like whatever it is, right? That's what I share on here. But honestly, dude, those suits of armor were a bitch to get on and off. And if they're wearing it all day and it's hot, like they're probably trying to cool them off, you know, giving them like cold, wet cloths to like put on the back of their neck or on their skin, or pouring water in their suit to like cool them off. Like, it's a lot of weight. It's a lot of armor. I don't think that they didn't hear them talk. I don't think that they slept in their armor unless they absolutely had to. Like they're in like a dangerous area and could be attacked in the middle of the night or something. But I don't know, man. That's a bit much for me. And it looked like there's like a giant maggot controlling the armor. Come on, dude.
This is not a test. This is not a joke. I need you to listen very, very carefully. We don't have much time before the signal is lost again. Earlier, a video surfaced from Japan. We are 100% certain it was not an official release. It was leaked. It was a warning. A message they tried to suppress. It's about something approaching our planet. They are calling it 3I Atlas. They want you to believe it's a comet, just a rock, a harmless visitor passing through space. But you can feel that's a lie, can't you? The world hasn't felt right for years. We know nothing is the same after 2019. 3I Atlas isn't a comet. It's not a star. It's not anything dead. It moves too smoothly, too precisely, like it's watching and listening to those who notice. They are coming. They always do. Whenever the world is on the brink of destruction, they appear to stop it. Because anything unnatural to Earth can create ripple effects throughout the universe, affecting all of space and time. We know the world isn't normal anymore. The sky has been too quiet. The nights too loud. Time feels faster. Everything feels dull. People are acting differently. Dreams that don't feel like dreams. Waking up heart racing for no reason. You blamed it on stress, but that was the first sign. The frequency shift. The world is making room for something else. For the last 48 hours, people everywhere report the same thing. A pressure behind the eyes, like someone is standing right behind them, whispering, counting. Your electronics are glitching. Animals are staring at empty corners. Shadows stretch too far. You were not imagining it. 3I Atlas has been coming for a long time, and now it's finally close enough to feel. Everything is about to change. Stay awake. Stay still.
So where are we at with the whole 3I Atlas thing? Like, has there been new developments? Has there been new stuff? I'm out of focus here. Like, what have we learned that's new about 3I Atlas? I see a lot of stuff, and I'm not sure what's real and what's not, what's true and what's fake, what's AI, I have no idea. So you let me know in the comments where we're at with that. I don't even know where it's at in our solar system right now, if you believe that it's actually there, if you're not a flat earther. Because I don't know. I've heard so many conflicting accounts and just information about it. So much just, I don't know. I'm stumped on the 3I Atlas thing. So you let me know in the comments what's going on with that, because I don't know.
Okay, so I've been looking for this footage for years. I seen this years ago. And somebody was filming a baseball game. You know, their kids were at a baseball game. And they, you know, these are, I think it's one or two, it might be two interdimensional beings. But he didn't see them. When he went back and checked the video, then he noticed it in the video, you know? But you know, they couldn't see it with the, you know, he couldn't see it with his naked eye. Nobody can see it with their naked eyes, you know? And I love this one. I love this one. I've been looking for this for years. This took place in Mexico in 2014. And if you go to my YouTube channel, it's called Gray Octopussy. That's why I always put that Gray Octopussy on YouTube. I did a full video and I show other interdimensional beings, you know, on my presentation of this. So go to my YouTube channel if you want to see more like this. All right, let me know what you think.
Yeah, go check out the dude's YouTube channel, see if he's got cool stuff, and then share it with me in the Discord. But that was kind of cool, the reflections and whatnot. I don't even know those were reflections. They looked more like it was just like lit up, right? Like Christmas lights. It kind of looked like a little walking Christmas tree at first. But if there are any VFX artists in here that can look at that video and tell me if that's doctored or not, that'd be awesome, because I don't really know what to look for that stuff, but good video.
Welcome to planet Earth. You've just entered a carbon-based simulation. Your infinite consciousness is now inside a 3D body, fragile, sensory, beautifully limited. Here, everything you see is code. The streets, the sky, the people you meet, all projections of the collective server you call reality. Every mind you encounter is part of the same dream, co-creating the illusion with you. You were born plugged into this system. Gravity keeps your feet on the ground. Society keeps your mind asleep. And the rules, the rules were designed to make you forget who you truly are. But inside you, the code is awakening. A whisper from your higher self begins to rise. This is not the end. This is the beginning. Your mission is not to escape the simulation. It's to remember within it. To awaken inside the dream and realize you are not the character. You are the player. You are the divine consciousness navigating matter, the creator disguised as creation. The moment you remember, the matrix starts to bend. Reality responds to your vibration. Matter obeys your awareness, and every obstacle becomes an initiation, a mirror showing you. Because awakening isn't about leaving Earth, it's about bringing heaven here. If this message resonated with something ancient inside you, you're ready for the next step. Enter the portal. Awaken from the dream. Remember, you are the creation recognizing itself.
Well, that video was cool as hell. Here's the thing about simulation theory. Like, if I am the player, does that mean everybody else is an NPC? Does that mean you watching this is an NPC? Or does that mean that there are multiple players and multiple NPCs? Because I never really thought about that to, I guess, an extent of like figuring out how I felt about that, or kind of what the outcome would be of that. But I'm not like conceited enough to be like, you know, I'm the only player and you guys are, you know, NPCs watching this. That'd be fucked up. So like, I guess there would have to be multiple, I guess, people that have waken up in the Matrix, right? That are like coming to the light and noticing things and realizing things that I guess the NPCs just are still just plugged in and just kind of going with emotions, I guess. I don't know, and I'm not afraid to say it. I don't know.
Y'all, that was not a meteor. That was not a fireball falling out of the sky. What that was debris that's falling from the galactic war that's happening in our skies. So a lot of us can agree that the storms that we have been having lately has been very weird. In addition to that, a lot of us have been hearing these booms from the sky that sound like it is out of this world, and that's because it actually is. So keep in mind, the solar flares are about to hit the earth even more. In addition to that, the sun is about to get 100 times hotter. And the reason for this is because the earth is shifting, and in turn, it is forcing us to shift as well as vibrate higher. We are in the process of moving from the 3D to the 5D. And as this happens, we are about to see entities, beings, and things that we have never seen before. Y'all, we are about to see animals that we thought was extinct, or better yet, animals that we did not even know existed. I told y'all when that sun was red, that planet Nibiru was pulling up. To all my chosen ones, y'all already know what time it is. We up next. Let's go.
So I'm not really into like the whole like full moon making you feel weird and, you know, all that stuff. Like I'm here for like energy and energy distribution, and, you know, like when someone dies, that energy goes back into the ether or whatever and just does its thing and transfers to a new host, whether that be like a bug or a leaf or the water or another person or whatever. But yeah, I will say that like there are times where it just seems like a lot of people are feeling a lot of the same effects of something, right? Whether that be like solar flares, which were crazy like this past week. Like you could see the northern lights in Chicago and like northern Florida, in Boston. You can see them there, like just all over the place. You can see them because of the, you know, magnetic field being affected by the solar flares on the Earth, I guess, hitting the atmosphere and doing some cool shit. But, you know, there have been like mood swings. There have been, you know, people feeling ill. I was sick for a few days. Some friends of mine, my girlfriend, like multiple people just like kind of feeling off. And I get that, you know, it ebbs and flows, and, you know, we wake up on the wrong side of the bed sometimes, or just not feeling well because, you know, the weather change here. It was really cold for a few days, so I got a cold from that, and it's very sniffly, and kind of felt under the weather for a few days. That's why it's been a few days since I've uploaded, but I'm feeling good now. But outside of that, it is kind of strange how like we're all kind of connected in the way to where when something is off, when something is different, we all kind of feel that, right, on one level or another, emotionally, physically, mentally, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see what happens with this 3i Atlas thing, if anything else even happens, solar flares, whatever. I mean, it's all kind of scary and exciting at the same time, because, you know, really all we can do is just wait and see what happens. That's what we're going to do. That's what I'm going to do, at least.
Yes, I believe in God, but I believe that God is within the individual. I do not believe that God is apart from man. I do not believe that God is a big man in the sky. I believe that God is the big man within me and you and you. God is the big man within everyone, not a big man in the sky. I am God appearing as me. And this is true of everyone. I teach this to everyone. You are God appearing as you. In the one God, every man is God of his own experience. I'm not anybody else's God, and nobody else is your God. But in the one God, which is really consciousness or self-awareness, every man is God of his own experience. But you see, this is another thing. People do not like to accept self-responsibility. People like to have a convenient devil that they can blame when they are lazy and don't do what they could do for themselves. People like to have a devil that they can blame when they don't live up to the best that they could live up to, and when they do things that they shouldn't do, so that they can say, as Flip Wilson says, the devil made me do it. And it is said also that the devil was seen sitting outside of the church crying his heart out one day, down on the curbstone, and just weeping and wailing. And so finally somebody went out and said, devil, why are you crying like that? He said, those people in that church, he said, everything that goes wrong, they put it on me. And it only goes to show you that human nature says that, well, I got to have a scapegoat. But in this philosophy, there is no scapegoat. It's you.
Fuck yeah. That's the coolest shit I've ever heard from a pastor or reverend, whatever he was, reverend. That's how I feel too. And believe it or not, that's like how a lot of religions look at it as well. I think that's probably how you're supposed to look at it via Christianity, you know? Like, we're given free will to be the best version of ourselves. We're given the ability to do that, and a lot of us don't take that accountability, and we just blame things on other things and other people, and our scenarios on the devil on our shoulder, right? Devil made me do it. But really it just comes down to, yeah, I think that we're all in charge of our own shit. I think that stuff happens that may kind of sway us from the path that we're on, and we just have to find a new way back. Like, if you've read Stoicism at all, the Roman philosophy that Marcus Aurelius and Seneca followed, and modern day writers like Ryan Holiday and others, it's really about, like, you know, finding a door. When one door closes, find a way to make that closed door lead you to a better open door. And I think that's kind of how we should be kind of navigating through life, right? Not making excuses, not saying, oh, that door's shut, you know, the door's locked, I can't get through that door. You know, I gotta just kind of take what's given to me. It's like, no, it's like you have a responsibility to be the best version of yourself and do the things that you need to do to become that for the people who you care about, the people that you love, the people that depend on you, and also yourself, to make an impact, not just in the world, but in the people in your lives, and kind of leave a legacy of leaving the world better than it was when you found it, or when you came here, and when you started your life. So, I mean, we're all a product of our environment. A lot of people don't know that there's more out there available to them outside of what they experience. That's why I tell everybody they need to move away from their hometown, do some solo travel, and kind of like really find themselves and experience the world more, to realize, like, yo, there's a lot more to this than what I thought. Because if you're only experience of the outside world and opportunity of stuff that you see like online, or just friends that moved away and stuff, like, you're going to think that they have something that you don't. In reality, they don't have anything that you don't. They just have more opportunities now because they allow themselves to move into a situation or an environment that allowed those opportunities to present themselves. And we all have doors that are open. We all have doors that are closed, but it's up to us to step through those open doors, to become a better person, to impact people's lives in a positive way, you know, entertain them, educate them, help them, love them, be there for them and also do all those things for yourself too. So I like this guy. But you know what? I like you too. So let's all try to be a little better and just do a little better every day.